to the 29th consecutive year of college football on ABC Sports. This matchup would have had more meaning if we could have played it last year, since both teams finished undefeated seasons. But both lost in bowl games. West Virginia said goodbye to 28 seniors, changing the texture of their team. And the Nebraska Cornhuskers, they reloaded. Once again, the Huskers are among the top spots in the national polls. This is the coalition poll, the one which ABC Sports will use this season, the combination of the coaches poll and the Associated Press. And here comes Nebraska, ranked 4th in the nation. They brought 85 of them, and that may be a factor before the day is done. Let's turn now to Bob Greasy, our analyst, the member of the College Hall of Fame, member of the Pro Hall of Fame from his All-American days at Purdue and All-Pro days at Miami. Robert, what do you think about this Nebraska team? Is it a team that deserves to be 4th?
Well, I like Nebraska. I like them a lot. If I had a vote, I think I would have put them number 1, and for a couple of reasons. Their defense is faster and quicker than it's ever been. There's only 2 players on that defensive unit over 240 pounds. Offensively, they've got what you want for a top team, and that is for their offensive line is outstanding, and Tommy Frazier, the quarterback, is 17-3 as a starter. They are loaded.
The Mountaineers have come into the stadium, and obviously there would be a lot of folks here from West Virginia, alumni as well as those who have made the trip up from the Morgantown area. Now, West Virginia comes out ranked 23rd in the poll. They have a considerable opportunity right in front of them if they can play with Nebraska.
Well, they had a great year last year, and talking with Don Neal, he knows that this is not the same team. He doesn't have the offense. He lost his 2 top quarterbacks. He lost 3 wide receivers, and he lost his center, which means a lot to get the thing going. But he does have a strong defense, and he has a good special teams, good kicking game, and that's where he's going to hang his hat today, hoping to get some turnovers. Just take it easy offensively, let his quarterbacks ease into the game.
This is the 12th Kickoff Classic to be played at the Meadowlands. Nebraska has been here 3 times. This is the first trip for West Virginia. Now let's join our colleague on the field, another Hall of Famer, Lynn Swan.
Thank you, Keith. This game is a great opportunity for both Nebraska and West Virginia. Keep in mind, last year, Florida State came into this game ranked number 1. They held that all the way to the Orange Bowl to win a national championship. Nebraska, if they can make a solid showing here facing a schedule that includes UCLA, Oklahoma, and Colorado, they could be playing for a national championship come January. For West Virginia, they're the giant killers today. They come in ranked number 23. If they can make a good showing, not necessarily win, they're going to have the confidence to be an impact team throughout the season. The weather is going to be a factor. The temperature on the field is close to 100 degrees. It was close to 115 before the game. A breeze has picked up, and there are late thunderstorms predicted for the afternoon. Keith?
Don Nealon in his 23rd season as a head coach. That includes Bowling Green as well as West Virginia. Totally, he's won 156 football games. Tom Osborne, of course, is the winningest Division I coach. 21 seasons. He's won 206 games, all at Nebraska. Todd Sarbrun kicks it off for West Virginia and knocks it out of town. Senior from Setauket, New York. He would have been among the very best in the nation in punting last year, but he didn't have enough kicks to qualify. Tommy Frazier, the quarterback for the Cornhuskers. He's a do-it-everything kind of a guy. He's built along like the old tailback days. He can do just about whatever is required. But a young man you want to watch today, I think, is Lawrence Phillip, the I-back. He steps in, filling some big shoes, but he's a very key guy in the whole structure of Nebraska's offense. The I-back always is. And he's got the ball. And he's taken down sharply on a driving tackle by number 97, Stephen Perkins, at the 21-yard line. The offensive front for Nebraska always will be a conversation piece, and all you have to do is look at the size of them. Those asterisks indicate returning starters, and you see that there are 4 of them, and the right side, led by Zach Wiegert, is said to be the very best Nebraska has had. The blocking back of the fullback in this offensive lineup is Corey Schlesinger. He reminds me, even looks like Tom Rathman. Here's the magic of Frazier. Bullet down the field. Could have been intercepted. Tried to force it. Didn't work. Eric Alford, a tight end, was the intended receiver, and they were all over him. David Mayfield, a very, very good, strong safety, could have picked that one off. Canute Curtis, John Browning, Barry Hawkins, Steve Perkins, the down guys for West Virginia. They need to get some pressure and hold their ground. If they can hold their ground, that frees the outside backers of Tafoni and Puppy Wright. It is 3rd down and 9. Out of the shotgun goes Nebraska. Swing it out to Phillips. Phillips gets a block on the corner. Will not get the first down. The first test for the West Virginia defense gets at least a B+.
Don Nehlen's got to be happy. His defense, he wanted his defense on the field first. He's got the fans behind him. Turned the ball over. 3 plays. Nebraska's got to kick it away.
Nebraska comes in with a sophomore from Jamestown, North Dakota. He is a new punter for the Huskers. He came in on a baseball scholarship. 6'2", 195-pounder. So Darren Erstad, and the whistle from the side stops the play. And the officials today come out of the Big Ten Conference. The referee is Dick Honey.
Timeout, West Virginia.
The Mountaineers call a timeout. They have yet to possess the ball on offense. When we come back, Nebraska will be punting. Apparently, just before the punt by Nebraska, Mike Logan suffered some kind of discomfiture or injury, and he was taken out.
Seems to be all right now.
Yeah, he does. So here are the Huskers to punt for the first time. Erstad gets a little heat, left foots it out of there, gets a driving kick, some room to run for Vanterpool. Rashawn Vanterpool is caught and taken down at the 34 just when he had a little opening working for him up in the middle of the field. Phil Ellis brought him down. So out comes Chad Johnston, making his first collegiate start. How many of you guys who have made your first collegiate start remember that feeling? Your bones tingle, your mind is oatmeal, and the ground is uneven. Robert Walker is the deep man and the dangerous man for West Virginia. Very good tailback. Johnson on the first snap gives it to Walker, and why not? He whistles it over the right side, and he picks up close to 5 yards, maybe 6 on that carry. Here's your offensive front for West Virginia. Edwards, Robsock, Brooks, Dorado, and Click. They love to play historically with their tight end figuring prominently in their passing game, and oftentimes have produced some very, very good tight ends who can not only block but catch the football. It's 2nd down and 6 and a whistle. And I believe they may have burned the clock. Trying to take their time, trying to calm the jitters, trying to get everything in focus.
Dead ball, illegal procedure, false start against the offense, 5-yard penalty.
If somebody couldn't hold their position, couldn't hold their posture, and you get the wiggle.
I think, watch the tight end at the top of the screen, the quarterback being a little bit nervous, may not have got the call out that far, and you know, when you have a new quarterback, things need to settle down. He just needs to settle down, get some plays run, some positive plays.
Call it 2nd down and 11. Johnson back will throw the ball. Got his man. First pass is completed for Chad Johnson to Rashawn Vanterpool, a sophomore out of North Babylon, New York.
That's a big completion there.
The defensive line and backers for Nebraska. The backers are Dumas, Coleman, Stewart. Stewart is a graduate student, having completed his curriculum, and he will play. But this is a very solid, tough, quick defensive unit. They do fly around. It's one of the quickest Nebraska defensive units in recent years. Secondary is also very good. It's a good football team. If West Virginia can play with them, their stock will soar. Slant over the right side for Jim Freeman, the fullback out of Lima, Ohio, and he will not get the first down. Number 32 came up out of his linebacking position, Ed Stewart, the young man we were just talking about, and put a shoulder on him, and he had no chance to move the ball.
You're talking about how good that defensive unit is. Last year, that defensive unit led the Big Eight in every defensive category.
Here's the punter now into the ball game, Todd Sauerbrunn. He averaged better than 45 yards on 47 kicks, and he's got a dandy there. He can really rip it. Here comes Kareem Moss for the Cornhuskers, and they knock him out of bounds. It'll be a Nebraska ball. The ball came loose, but he was out of bounds. But he did not get to the 20. They decked him back around the 18-yard line. 53-yard punt. So the Nebraska youngster, Erstad, hits 144 into the breeze. And Sauerbrunn comes back with a 53-yarder, so it looks like it's going to be a pretty good day for the punters. Put the ball at the 17-yard line, first down with Phillips the I-back and the man in motion. Hopefully drawing some room in the defensive secondary and moving the backers around. Doesn't have much impact. Holbein went wide, but not much room for Phillips to carry the ball. ABC Sports has college football doubleheader for you next week. Regional action beginning at 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific. Boston College, Michigan, Virginia, Florida State, Washington, USC, and then at 8 Eastern, you've got Notre Dame, Northwestern, or UCLA and Tennessee from the Rose Bowl. It is second down and about 4, long 3 as Frazier turns back into traffic, and he turns right into number 93, John Browning, and down he goes.
Well, we talked about the speed of the defense for Nebraska, but this West Virginia outfit has got some speed around him too. That time the speed getting upfield just stopped Frazier as he tried to go down the line on the option.
He lost a little bit. It'll be third down and 5. Number 27, Abdul Muhammad, the wingback, is the fast man on the field. He's at the top of your picture. Frazier looks for him. Now finds him and has the first down, and Muhammad pops out of there and picks up a big play to the 45-yard line. Number 22 for West Virginia kept that from being a touchdown. Harold Kidd got just enough of him to bring him down.
Take a look from the end zone. Watch the offensive line. Nebraska not known for pass protection, but look at the time that Frazier had. Now you should throw it now. Now he still has a lot of time. Abdul keeps coming, works to the inside, and Abdul Muhammad picks up the first down of the ball game.
Just short of the 45-yard line. Here comes Phillips, the I-back. Crosses midfield, and for the first time today, another team is on the other side of the field. 48-yard line of West Virginia. Van Washington the tackle. Phillips is not a gimme. Let me tell you, he's not some little dainty speedster. He ain't no skater. He's 6 feet tall. He weighs a solid 200 pounds. He's a sophomore from West Covina, California.
Those numbers there were as a freshman. He gained over 500 yards, filling in for Calvin Jones, who was the starter last year, but he was injured quite a bit.
They go double wide at the top of the picture. Give it to Phillips again. This is Nebraska's strength right here, Bob, you're looking at.
Yep.
Big people, they just beat on you.
Well, that's why I mentioned before Nebraska's offensive line pass blocking, because their strength has always been run blocking and doing the option and those types of things with the little backs like Phillips to take off. Take a look at the offensive line. At 66 is Stye, 72 is Wiegert. There's a hole there, but Chatfield, the linebacker, plugs it. Graham, 54, gets his block. But the strength is at run blocking by that offensive line.
But Nebraska got its first down. Here comes Phillips again, but there's a penalty flag thrown by a linesman. The gain is down to about the 36 for about 8 yards on the play, but you do have a penalty coming. Phillips, prior to that carry, 4 carries for 18 yards, and the penalty will go against West Virginia. There are the Big Ten officials, headed by referee Dick Honig.
Offside on the defense, declined, second down.
So the Huskers, having picked up about 8 yards on the carry, leave it at the 36.
Watch the 2 left side linemen. That's Zedeska, 56, pulling. He's over 300 pounds, can get around, has good feet. 3 of the 5 offensive linemen over 300 pounds for Nebraska.
And they can run.
They sure can.
Second down and 2. Great penetration by West Virginia, but it's too late. There's your quick opener with a fullback, Corey Schlesinger. the senior from Duncan, and he explodes up the middle all the way down to the West Virginia 23-yard line.
Watch 66 thigh as he sets up and invites the defensive man to come across. This is a little sucker play, a little influence play. The fullback 40, Sussinger, doesn't get to carry the ball much. It's almost like an afterthought. But Tom Osborne does a magnificent job of calling plays, going to different formations, and then knowing when you're set up for something and getting the play called. He doesn't get enough credit for his play calling.
The first drive of the ball game by either team. Frazier has pressure coming behind him. Throws. It is intercepted. It is off the hands of Clester Johnson and intercepted by Harold Kidd. So Harold Kidd has two big defensive plays in that possession for West Virginia. Winds up with the interception.
Well, just what Don Nehlen said that he needs is that his defense to come up with some turnovers. The ball is dropped by the offense. Kidd, who is replacing Logan, who was injured a little earlier, makes a nice play. His foot is in bounds, and it is a good interception.
Early going in the ball game, the Huskers have their first turnover as Don Nehlen's defensive unit has a deep sigh of relief, having intercepted the pass. Clester Johnson kind of short-armed it and didn't come up with it. And here come the Mountaineers now, trying to work themselves out of a hole as Robert Walker carries up across the 12-yard line. Next Monday, the season premiere of ABC's Monday Night Football, 25th anniversary season, kicking off live from San Francisco. LA Raiders. Tell you what, the Raiders and the 49ers going to be a real good football game because both those teams are among the elite in the league this year, I think. Coverage at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific on ABC's Monday Night Football. Kane is up to about the 15-yard line with Robert Walker carrying again. He is a 5'11", 200-pound junior from Huntington, West Virginia.
That Monday night matchup, you know who's going to be the quarterback for the Raiders, don't you?
Yeah, Nehlen's son-in-law.
That's true.
Jeff Hostetler.
Hostetler, who used to be the quarterback at West Virginia.
Married Vicky Nehlen.
Yep. Built a new house in Morganton.
Yep.
And Nehlen just built a house down the road. I said, you ain't making as much as these pro players, are you, Coach?
14-yard line. It is 3rd down and 3 for the Mountaineers. On their own end of the field, Johnson back, getting some heat. Caught from behind, taken down at the 8. Pressure came from Kareem Moss and Dante Jones. Moss, 29, a senior out of Spartanburg, South Carolina.
There's a safety blitz right here. Moss is the strong safety. Watch as he's going to come unmolested to the outside. The tight end says, whoops, I should have blocked him. The back says, whoops, I should have had him. 3rd down blitz by West Virginia, by Nebraska.
Todd Sarbrun in the end zone to punt. First kick was 53. Whoa, that's a howitzer shot. My goodness, look at this. He hit that out of his end zone, let it go, it'll go all the way into the end zone. Moss has got it on the return and comes back to the 30-yard line. That's a big return by Moss of about 20-something yards, but that punt, folks, went 90 yards. Holy smokes.
We mentioned that Don Nehlen was a smart man, one to play defense and gets turnovers. He got a turnover, and he had a strong kicking game in Sarbrun. But this 90 yards, he knew it was good. Wow.
I tell you what, if Moss leaves it alone, it goes to the other end zone.
I don't know if it would have went in or not. It was kind of, had a little backspin on it.
Been worth watching, though.
Yeah,
100-yard punt. First down on the 31-yard line for Nebraska as Phillips carries and wiggles his way across the 35 to the 36. And here's Lynn Swann.
Well, Keith, you're right. Mike Logan's definitely out of the ball game. He broke an ulnar bone in his right arm on direct contact. So Dr. Bauer said he will not come back in the ball game. And that's why they called a timeout. He was supposed to be in on the punt return, but the coaches didn't see him leave the game. Also, another injury before the game even began for West Virginia. Todd Dye, a junior defensive back wearing number 14, was jumping up down in the tunnel and tore his ligament in the knee, and he'll be out. Keith?
Good grief. You start the day with bang, severe injuries like that. It makes you wonder. It's Phillips carrying the ball, and he will have a first down for Nebraska as he moves to the 43-yard line. The Goodyear blimp Stars and Stripes offering those pictures for you over the Giants Stadium in the Meadowlands of New Jersey. Stars and Stripes out of Pompano Beach, Florida. Fun to see our old friend Mickey Whitman today, who's been running that blimp program for so many years.
You might ask, how do you tear a knee ligament in the tunnel coming out? By jumping up and down. And basically the easiest way is you come down and land on somebody else's foot and you twist your knee and ankle.
That's how most basketball players do it. It's Phillips again with Lawrence moving the ball to the West Virginia side of the field, and now the Nebraska offense is beginning to get some momentum. They beat on you and beat on you and beat on you, and eventually the hole appears and you're behind.
Watch Wiegert and Stye, as they're both, the guard and the tackle, going to get a couple of key blocks. Number 72 is Wiegert right there. 66 Stye. The fullback comes downfield. The quarterback options off the end. The right side is very strong for the Cornhuskers all year.
Phillips on that little quick handoff as Frazier had come back to stand alongside of him in the deep formation. And he gave it to him, but not much there as the Mountaineers get to it in a hurry with Bo Chatfield, number 55, jumping into the middle of the play. That 90-yard punt by Todd Sauerbrunn obviously would figure to be some kind of a record. It is. The old West Virginia record was 78, set back in 1957. I would imagine that's also a stadium record. Frazier on the option. First down. 33-yard line of West Virginia. Charles Emmanuel the tackle.
Well, you notice that Nebraska is running to their right side a lot. 72 is Wiegert, the right tackle. 66 is Stye, but watch Wiegert as he docks two men. The man over him and also the man inside of him, pushes him off about 6 or 7 yards. And Tommy Frazier, the quarterback, acts like a running back that he is most of the time. Picks up a nice gain.
Damon Benning is in at the I-back, relieving Phillips. Benning will get close to the 30. He's a 5'11", 205-pound sophomore from Omaha. The number 3 tailback for Nebraska is Clinton Childs. He's a junior from Omaha. Chatfield's been very busy today. Bo involved in his 5th tackle of the ball game. He's 6'3", 230 pounds. He is a sophomore at West Virginia, and he got away from the Wildcats out in Tucson, Arizona. Second down and 8.
They may not miss him this year.
Might not. He's a quality player. Frazier, little play action, dumps it off to this side, and the play is out of bounds as Mark Gilman, the tight end, out of Kalispell, Montana, takes it out of bounds.
That was a 2 tight end set that Tom Osborne was using that time. You see Shaw, he is the starting tight end. All those players around him. He'll go to 3 wide receivers. He'll go 1 back. He'll go 2 tight ends. Spread them out, run inside. They may not throw it a lot, but they'll use a lot of formations.
Close. That much. Just a little bit. You're going to have to play a lot of people today because of the heat and humidity. There's no question about it. Nebraska, we told you a little while ago, brought 85. West Virginia has a similar number, maybe not quite that many. I think they had 85.
Keith, here's a play where Tom Osborne can really gamble. It's 3rd and real short, and if he doesn't make it, I mean, you could try a long pass or a gimmick play or something. If the West Virginia defense is sucked up to stop the 3rd and 1, and if you don't make it on a big play, you can always go back and go for it on 4th and 1. And with that offensive line that you have, the chances of making it would be pretty good.
They've outlawed the Boomerooski.
The Fumbarooski, yeah.
And the Boomerooski.
Yeah, all of them.
Well, he gave it to Schlesinger, and I'll tell you what, the Mountaineers stacked it pretty well. Barry Hawkins, I can see his 99 there involved, along with Chatfield. They may be looking 4th down. Get the chains in, make sure.
Hawkins is kind of the ringleader of that defense. He was all Big East last year.
I think he might have lost some distance this time. He lost a little bit. So it'll be 4th down.
Let's take a look at the dark jerseys. Hawkins is 99. It's in there in the crease, slanted inside of Wiegert, number 72, and Osborne goes for it on 4th down.
Last year they went for it on 4th down 14 times, made it 11. They were usually very short. They just made it again as Tommy Frazier just rides right up the hip pocket of Aaron Graham, his big center. And it'll be 1st down Nebraska, down around the 21-yard line of West Virginia. Tonight on ABC, start your night off right with America's Funniest Hour, then High-Flying Adventure with Lois and Clark. The New Adventures of Superman, all tonight on ABC. Time remaining in the first quarter of play, 2 minutes and 14 seconds. No score in the ball game. Nebraska had a drive going last possession. Ball bounced off Johnson's hands, intercepted by West Virginia. They're back knocking on the door again. 10th play of this possession goes to Schlesinger, the fullback, and he picks up about 3 yards. Make it 4. One of the real good football players on the West Virginia defense is Puppy Wright, a senior out of Miami, and I was trying to find out yesterday how come he's called Puppy. Nobody knew. Finally, one of the newspaper guys said, well, I think it's because his daddy was called Big Dog. Whatever, Puppy's a heck of a player. And they come hard, and they can't get there in time to get a piece of Frazier as he turns it upfield and moves it inside the 15.
And I can tell that Puppy's going to be one of your favorite players right now. From behind Puppy, number 4 right there. Puppy goes over the top and gets a piece of Frazier. 93 is Browning. And
there he is.
There's the son of the big dog.
He's a good player.
As we hear it.
Great fellow. Everybody seems to like Puppy. All right, Phillips is back in the ball game now as the I-back standing back on the 21-yard line on 3rd down and 3. Ball and 3. Frazier pumps it, throws it. Too high, incomplete, intended for Eric Alford, the tight end. So it'll bring up 4th down, and here comes the kicking team.
It's a nice job by the defense of West Virginia. Steve Dunlap, the defensive coordinator, a little blitz. Frazier didn't have a lot of time to throw, had to throw it away.
Tom Sealer was the punter last year for Nebraska. Kicked off some, but he had no field goal attempts. He's had some point afters, 16 out of 17. This is a 32-yard try. Plenty of leg on it, and it's good. So Tom Sealer's first field goal try of 94 is right there on the highway. And Nebraska takes a 3-0 lead with 34 seconds to go in the first period. And they finally got around to it. Now this is the 104th season of football for West Virginia, the 105th season of football for Nebraska. And yet this is the first time they've met. Nebraska's run 23 plays so far in the ball game, and West Virginia just 6. But it's only a 3-0 lead as we come to the final seconds of the first quarter. Rashawn Vanderpool and Jeff Nixon are deep for the Mountaineers as Darren Erstad kicks off. West Virginia wearing the dark shirts because they are the home team. Well, that ball is knocked almost out of the county, too. All these kickers are just hammering it. Fresh legs, I guess, huh?
You mentioned that West Virginia in its 2 series have only run 6 plays, Keith. Chad Johnston right there will be coming in for the 3rd series, but Coach Nealon told us that he is going to alternate his 2 quarterbacks much like he did last year. Johnson will play 3 series, and then Eric Boynton, the transfer from the University of Michigan, will come in for the next 3 series.
Yeah, Boykin's a lanky fellow, big, tall, lanky guy. Good player. Robert Walker and Jim Freeman line up behind Johnson now. And Chad wants to throw. Better hurry. He'll pick up about a yard on the play. This is a very quick Nebraska defense. And probably going to get quicker and meaner as the year goes on. we're going to see him again very soon against UCLA. Time ticking off there. That'll be the end of the first quarter of play in the 12th annual Kickoff Classic. And after one, it is Nebraska leading West Virginia 3-0. Hot day in New Jersey. We go to the second quarter of play in the Kickoff Classic with Nebraska leading West Virginia 3-0. Been a pretty good football game to this point. It's second down and 8 for the Mountaineers. They own the ball at their own 22-yard line. Johnson, making his first collegiate start, fumbled the snap, and I'm not sure he ever got control of it, but somehow he was able to cover it. Dante Jones was the man that came in and ate him up. Jones is number 84.
As we mentioned in the opening, not only did they lose their 2 starting quarterbacks, but also the starting center. So this is new this year, a new connection. Brooks is the center. Got on his block pretty quickly, but the quarterback never got the football.
Yeah, but the poor old center's in there trying to handle somebody like Christian Peters, 6'2", 285 pounds, a guy who has a 36-inch vertical leap.
And he's not happy about being out there on a hot day.
He's probably cranky.
He's got
very
some problems.
Cranky. Pressure coming. Dante Jones. A pass is almost completed, but the receiver just simply cannot get all his hand around it. Rashawn Vanderpool got the tips of his fingers on the ball, but couldn't reel it in. So West Virginia now is going to have to punt. But fear not, my friends. The last time Sauerbrunn punted, he hit it 90 yards.
Nebraska first quarter stats has dominated. The one thing that West Virginia wanted was the turnover. They did get the 1 turnover, and from looking at those stats, if you would say it's only 3-0, West Virginia would take that in a minute.
This time Sauerbrunn's going to hit the ball into a little breeze. Well, I'm telling you, this kid can kick it. Reggie Ball. Got a block. Got another block. Almost a clip. Reggie's still pumping away. All the way to the 30. He earned every inch of it. That was a 71-yard kick. That is correct. 70.7-yard average on 3 punts. That 90-yarder for Todd Sauerbrunn, the longest in school history. The 71-yarder you just saw, the 6th longest. But you know what? There's a problem. He's out-kicking his coverage. Nobody's always happy with anything. Lawrence Phillips just carried the ball.
Well, there's the win, and he's punted both ways. Out of the Southwest, for those of you who are familiar with the Meadowlands Giant Stadium. We mentioned in the opening that Don Nehlen said he had a strong defense and a very good kicking game, and we've seen that here in the first quarter already.
Jeff Makovica is in at fullback now for the Huskers. Phillips is the deep back. Frazier going down the line, flips it off to Phillips, and that's very, very good pursuit by West Virginia. Bo Chatfield is over there. Aaron Beasley is there, and so is Matt Tafoni. And there's a loss on the play of a couple of yards and make it 3rd down and 6 now.
Tafoni is the captain of that defense, and he's from the New Jersey area, so he's playing in front of some fans of his, some family. Here's a look at Tafoni. He's a 3-year starter, former defensive back, now playing linebacker.
3rd and 6 as Tommy Frazier sets him. Little quarterback draw. First down. Tommy Frazier, 6'2", 205 pounds. He's out of Manatee in Bradenton, Florida.
And he's like an extra running back in your backfield. They list him as a quarterback, and he certainly can play that position. He doesn't throw the ball like you do at the University of Florida and Miami in the passing schools. But for this offense, he is perfect. He was the top option quarterback coming out of high school 3 years ago.
First down, Nebraska, their own 44. They lead 3-0. Pitch back to Phillips. Phillips gets some help on the corner, turns it for an 11-yard pickup down to the West Virginia 45. Now here's Lynn Swan.
Keith, the weather is a big factor early in this ball game. West Virginia had a cool training camp, and a number of their players on defense are starting to feel the pain, especially number 22, Harold Kidd, who came in to replace Mike Logan. Now, I'll tell you, they've got some devices on the sideline to keep them cool, but the offense for West Virginia is the real solution. They've got to possess the ball longer to give this defense a chance to rest on the sideline. Bob, Keith?
They're not going to last long if they don't.
The offense has had the ball 9 plays in 3 possessions.
1st and 10 from the West Virginia 45 as Frazier looks deep and goes to the sideline. It's incomplete. Just plain, flat, dropped by Abdul Muhammad. That's the 2nd pass that a Nebraska receiver has dropped on the sidelines.
Muhammad is the leading receiver coming back from last year. He caught 25 and 3 touchdowns. Tommy Frazier puts it right on the mark. And, you know, one thing, Keith, that surprised me when I was doing some preparation is that Nebraska and Tommy Frazier, Nebraska led the Big 8 Conference in touchdown passes with 16. You don't think of them as a passing team. No. But there's a lot of opportunities for big plays.
Here comes Phillips on the corner. And that's about an 11, 12-yard pickup right there, and another 1st down for Nebraska with Tafoni and Beasley making the tackle. And again, it's the optionability of Tommy Frazier that makes that play work.
But also, Keith, the wide receivers. Take a look at the wide receivers, both of them, as they're going to come in and get key blocks on the inside, and the ball's going to be pitched wide. Now, Seal right there, another wide receiver, Seal's there. Now you're responsible for the outside guy, but you've already picked up 10 yards by the time you get him.
And Phillips, on 13 carries in the game here in the 1st half, has 80 yards. Give it to Schlesinger, the fullback. No, it's Makovica, the fullback. And he pops it over the middle. And he's got a big gain on the play of about 8 yards. On Saturday, the PGA Tour rolls in for the Greater Milwaukee Open presented by Sharps. It'll be live weekend coverage starting at 1:30 Eastern, 10:30 a.m. out on the West Coast. Saturday here on ABC Sports. Billy Mayfair shown there. Defending. 25-yard line. 2nd down and 3 coming up. We've got a timeout charged to West Virginia. Offensive line almost always a major story about this football team. Here's Dr. Tom talking about this year's offensive front.
People in Nebraska tend to be big people, and so we don't have an advantage in recruiting defensive backs and receivers and some of those type of players, but we do have a fair number of offensive line types within 200 or 300 miles of Lincoln, and a lot of our offensive linemen have been Nebraska players, but we've also gotten some great ones from other places too.
I'll tell you where they're from in a minute. 2nd down and 3 from the 25 of West Virginia. In the 2nd quarter of play, Frazier pitches to Phillips. He can throw it. He's an ex-high school quarterback. It may be picked off. It is incomplete. But Zateska comes from Lincoln, Nebraska. Wilkes, the guard, is from Hastings, Nebraska. Graham, the center, is out of Denton, Texas. Stye, the right guard, is out of Yorba Linda, California. But Wiegert, the big guy, the big tackle, is from Fremont, Nebraska, and the tight end, Matt Shaw, is from Lincoln. So most of them are big frames that they beef up.
You see the selection. And Phillips, the I-back, did the right thing. A halfback pass. If you're not going to complete it, throw it away, throw it out of the end zone. Don't get it intercepted.
And it's 3rd down and 3. Option. Frazier's got daylight. It's 6.
Nebraska had just been pounding and pounding, running inside and then outside. Good blocking by Johnson, 33. Frazier gets outside. There's just been too much pressure on the West Virginia defense to stop Nebraska for any longer. They were about to bust loose, and they did.
The extra point try now by Tom Saylor, who kicked a 32-yard field goal for the 1st quarter lead. John Bedrell will hold it. Aaron Graham, the regular center, does the snapping. In the heart. With 10:49 to go in the first half, Nebraska moves out to a 10-0 lead over West Virginia. Frazier getting a little spray of cold water there because the temperature is well above, well, it's around 100 now. The breeze came up. At one time before the teams really got into their warm-ups today, the temperature on the field was around 110 degrees. While they are deploying for the kickoff here, let's talk for just a second about the rules change. The most obvious rules change, of course, having to do with taunting, trash talking, if you will, and the fighting on the field. Very simply, the rule this year is the officials take control of the game 1 hour before kickoff. Previously, it was only 5 minutes, so they come out and police it. And the rules change is this: if you fight in the first half, you miss the second half. If you fight in the second half, you miss the first half of the next game. If you come off the sidelines or off the bench to get involved in a fight, then you're going to miss the rest of the game, and you're going to miss the next game. And if you do it twice, you're going to miss the season. But also, this hour of policing before the kickoff enables the officials to control some of the taunting. And I think that alone is going to do as much good
and
as
I commend the committee for doing that. It needed it, it was needed, and it was there, and I think it'll be a deterrent.
Matterpool. No, sir. Nothing there after the run back to the 22-yard line. Here's Swanee.
Keith, it's nowhere but college football where the fans and alumni tour with their team to watch them play. They come by plane, they come by bus, and this morning 850 loyal West Virginia Mountaineers hopped on the train and they came to Newark to watch their team play. They're a part of an expected 25,000 group of West Virginia fans to watch the game. Keith?
Hope they have a good time. Their team's playing very well. It's a 22-yard line. Eric Boykin is in at quarterback now, who transferred over to Morgantown from Michigan. Eric Boykin is 6'3", 220-pound sophomore from Dayton, Ohio. He got caught in a numbers game at Michigan as much as anything.
Mike Jacobs, the offensive coordinator, says that Boykin is a little bit better runner, a little bit more physical. Chad Johnson, who we just saw the first 3 series, is a little bit better thrower, but he says they're very equal in ability.
Ken Troy Barber is in at fullback right now, and here's Boykin getting some heat, getting some pressure, and being sacked. And the ball comes out. Nebraska's got it. So they separate Boykin from the ball and come away with it. Coleman, the linebacker, very much involved in the whole play. Doug Coleman, number 46.
This is the downside of alternating quarterbacks. 3 series and 1 quarterback. Now he's in fresh. He has not been in the action. Everybody's warmed up. The ball is knocked loose by Coleman, number 46.
He recovered it.
It comes back to him. Coleman's going to slap it out of his hands, and he's going to recover it when it comes back to him. But this is the problem with alternating quarterbacks. But you've got to do it. I'm not saying you shouldn't do it, but this is the problem with it.
Clinton Childs, the number 3 tailback, is in the ball game now for Nebraska. He's the junior from Omaha we talked about a little while ago. Tommy Frazier remains at quarterback with Schlesinger in at the fullback position. Coleman, the linebacker for the Huskers, who just made that play, is typical of so many players at Nebraska over the last few years under Tom Osborne. He simply waited his turn.
That's exactly right. And that's where their depth comes from.
Yep.
He's from New Jersey also, Coleman.
Yeah. Here's Frazier into the end zone. Touchdown. Reggie Ball. They waited for a moment to make sure he had not dropped it and called it touchdown. So Coleman makes the big defensive play, and the Husker offense gets 6 more. Here's Tom Sealer. He's 6'5", 205. If he looks like the biggest place kicker you ever saw, he probably is. I'll tell you what, when he swings that hammer, it gets out of there, doesn't it? 17-0, the Huskers.
Well, with just play action, here's the receiver here. He's going to slide down and into the end zone. The play action, and he's going to roll this way. Now, as the ball is thrown over here, watch as the receiver at the top of the screen, the middle there, watch the receiver. He's going to be like a personal protector. He's going to pass protect if he needs it. If he doesn't, throw it into the end zone. From behind the defense, Frazier throwing on the run. Nice catch by Ball.
The back judge was standing right behind him and couldn't call it. He couldn't see it because you couldn't tell whether or not Reggie had trapped it. Look to me. He's got it. I watched the back judge is standing right behind him there, and he can't call it.
Well, that's good. The back judge. That's a good play by the back judge.
Yes,
you couldn't see it. Looked to the side, but he had his arms down. Whether or not it got through his arms and hit the belly and got on the ground, hard to see from there.
9:20 to go in the first half. In first downs, Nebraska has 12. West Virginia so far none.
Frazier.
Rushing yards, Nebraska 157. The Mountaineers -5.
Frazier's saying, "What's all the excitement about?" He's sitting over there worrying about the next one.
Well, I think Tommy might have had something to do with that. The Frazier toting around with him, looking for more in 94.
Yeah. Well, the turnover, the fumble by the quarterback, Boykin. The turnover led to the immediate touchdown, and that was one thing that Nealon could not take. His turnovers against him, because Nebraska was going to be strong enough anyway.
Look at these kickers. Holy cow, nobody's going to have a run back all year. Erstad knocked that thing way back there. College football doubleheader next Saturday. You've got Boston College at Michigan, 3:30 Eastern, Virginia, Florida State, Washington, USC, and then at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, Notre Dame, Northwestern, or UCLA, Tennessee. That's all next Saturday here on ABC Sports.
Dan Henning, the new head coach at Boston College, takes over. Be interesting to see how his troops do this year.
All right, Boykin is out for his second series. His first one was a disaster. Hands the ball off to Cantre Barber. And Barber will run for a first down to the 31-yard line.
There's a look at the first half possessions. They have not done anything offensively. We mentioned in the opening they lost both their starting quarterbacks, their 3 wide receivers, 3 of their offensive linemen, including their center. It's going to be a while before they get going. They're up against a very good defense in this Nebraska team.
Barber just gave West Virginia its first down, gets the ball right back, and will lose a yard or so as Doug Coleman is hunkered down and waiting for him.
Barber's brother played at the University of Miami last year, was a starting guard.
You know, you said Coleman's from New Jersey, and he is. He's from Ventnor. But a lot of New Jersey athletes have gone to Nebraska, and I'll give you 3 names. Mike Rozier, Heisman winner. How about Rich Glover, consensus All-American, and a fellow named Irving Fryer.
Those are 3 pretty good names.
Not bad. Second down, 11. West Virginia has 11 players from New Jersey. Boykin looking around. He really didn't have anybody.
He did after a second, but it was an all-out blitz. And the wide receiver at the top of the screen, at the top, can't see who that is. Was it Vanderpool? I think it was Vanderpool.
Yeah,
it was wide open.
Yep.
But Boykin had people in the backfield. There's Boykin. He was one-on-one, and there was a blitz by Nebraska, and the corner jumped the little out move, and then he took off downfield, and he was 15 yards behind anybody. But Boykin was
running for his life.
Running for his life. Well put.
Third down and 12. he's sacked for the 4th time. The West Virginia quarterback sacked for the 4th time. Jared Tomich, number 93, a sophomore out of St. John, Indiana, got that one for Nebraska.
West Virginia's trying to run their option. They're trying to run east and west. This Nebraska team, we told you, is so quick. They're upfield. It's tough to run left and right. You got to run straight ahead.
Yeah, but this guy's worth the price of the ticket.
Here's Sauerbrunn right here.
I mean, he's worth the drive. Averaging 70.7 on 3 points. Last time he hit it into the wind, he went 71 yards. That's not going to go 71, but it's got better hang time and going to get better coverage probably. Oh my goodness, look at this. Reggie Ball has all kinds of room and comes back across the 45. That was a 54-yard punt, but about a 20-yard return. So good long punt to find if you've got speedsters that can go down and cover it. Yep. Captain Richard Daniels out of Burbank, California, driving the Stars and Stripes about today. Have you ever driven a blimp, Robert?
Never have.
I have. It's fun. The first 10 seconds is terrifying. After that, it's fun. All right, let's look at Brooke Behringer at quarterback for Nebraska, the junior out of Goodland, Kansas, 6'4", 210, big, strong guy. As Tommy Frazier has been in there for a 17-0 lead, and now Brooke gets some work. Hands it away to Clinton Childs, a 215-pound tailback. Nebraska now is getting about 5-6 yards on every first down play when they're running the ball.
They seem to be wearing West Virginia's defense down. Obviously, West Virginia defensively been out there a long time. Nebraska's been running players back and forth. Frazier gets his first view from the sideline. If there is one weakness in this Nebraska team, Keith, it might be at quarterback. If anything happens to Frazier, they are not real deep at quarterback.
Second down and 4. Inside traffic with the fullback Schlesinger. Corey's grown up. He's 230 pounds now. He's about ready to follow in the footsteps of his predecessor, Tom Rathman. I think he's got a haircut and he even looks like him now.
Rathman was a heck of a player.
Still is. I think you'll find him very prominently displayed in the Raider offense this year.
I think Don Nealon was pretty pleased with the way things were going until that last fumble by his offense that led to that touchdown by Nebraska.
Third down and 3. Behringer turns back and runs into a whole lot of dark blue shirts. The first hit came from Van Washington, a sophomore out of Monticello, Florida. West Virginia goes south to get their speed people oftentimes. Get a lot of people out of Florida, Pennsylvania, and New Jersey. Those seem to be the prime supply sources of talent for Don Nealon's Mountaineer program. Other than West Virginia, he gets most of the people in his home state.
This punter for Nebraska, Erstad, is a pretty good baseball player himself.
He played in the Cape Cod League.
He was the most valuable player in the Cape Cod League this summer.
12 home runs. He could swing the bat with his foot, he'd be all right too. He'd be in the majors. He's pretty good. Well, he kind of twisted that one and didn't get much of it. It takes a Nebraska bounce. And then dives on into the end zone. They just missed downing it. About straight up on the first bounce, but on the rug, if it's a tail dragger, it'll just run away from you and you can't put it down. 4:29 to go first half. Jimmy Gary, who is a speedster out of Okeechobee, Florida. We've not seen him yet. He busted a leg last year, which gave Robert Walker his chance to play, and Robert went for over 1,000 yards. Now Jimmy's kind of hanging around and waiting to see when he gets his chance. You can see the Mountaineers haven't done much yet with their offense. Walker dropped the ball, but he keeps it. So Don Nealon shakes his head over that. And now Coleman coming back on the field now for the Nebraska Cornhuskers at the linebacker position. Phil Ellis coming out. Phil is the junior out of Grand Island, number 41, trotting off the field. Put the ball at the 24-yard line. It is 3rd down and 6 with 3:20 to play in the first half. Eric Boykin is still your quarterback with Barber set behind him. They've got 3 receivers bottom of the picture. Dante Jones putting the pressure on, and the pass is a little bit underthrown, and Vanderpool cannot come up with a catch in front of Mike Minter. At halftime, look at the game scheduled on ABC in September. Then we'll visit with Tom Osborne, talk to Don Nehlen, and we'll have some highlights from yesterday's Little League World Series. Todd Sauerbrunn is back in to punt. That's another good one. Oh, he's something. That ball is loose, but he gets it. Fortunately, Reggie Ball got a good bounce and then takes a pretty good lick up around the 26-yard line.
This kid is unbelievable.
64 yards on that punt. I've never seen anybody kick a football like that. Here's Lynn Swan.
Keith, both teams seem to be trying to get that heat under control. As we said earlier, West Virginia has an air conditioning system called Cool Zone that creates a fine mist behind the bench area. The Nebraska team has another device, just a series of air hoses that spray a fine mist over each player. As a matter of fact, there is a portable system for the coaches and trainers should the heat be too unbearable for them. And it has to be at least over 100 degrees on the field here, Keith.
Uncomfortable. Tommy Frazier's back in there at quarterback, but whistle stopped the play before they start. That gives me a chance after we see, let's see here.
Dead ball. False start against the offense.
All right, now Todd
5
Sauerbrunn.
yards, 1st and 15.
Todd Sauerbrunn has now punted 5 times. So he is eligible for the NCAA record of punt average in a game. And the average in the books right now is set by Lee Johnson, 1983, BYU against Wyoming. In the high altitude, he averaged 60.4. And Sauerbrunn right now is sitting on an even 66-yard punting average. 5 kicks. All right, Frazier at quarterback throws a bullet. Pass is caught by Ball. Shakes a tackler down the sidelines. First down at the West Virginia 43-yard line. He got away from Aaron Beasley.
From behind the defense, just a little quick out to Reggie Ball. Beasley is their top cornerback, just kind of blocks him, thought he was going to knock him down. And then Ball shows some speed, steps out of bounds.
They bring it back to the 44-yard line where he hit the chalk. Macavicka is the fullback. You got a new center, Humphrey, in the ball game. Down the middle it goes. Foot race. And it is incomplete with Riley Washington, a speedster out of Chula Vista, California, trying to run it down. And he couldn't do it. So Bill Humphrey, a senior out of Libertyville, Illinois, is in there snapping the ball now. And it's a chance for both coaches to find out who's behind whom. Let's get some depth. Let's let everybody get their lumps and bruises and some experience.
Tommy Frazier, 121 yards total offense, 71 passing and 50 rushing.
Lawrence Phillips, obviously headed for a 100-yard day.
Tommy Frazier has a touchdown rushing and a touchdown passing.
Phillips has 82 yards so far on the day. They have a week off and then play on the road again at Texas Tech. Then come home for UCLA. Bob and I will be there along with Lynn Swan and our crew to cover that game for some of you in Lincoln. Graham is back at center now on 3rd down and 8. All day for Frazier. And he threw a bad pass. He picked the wrong man and threw a bad pass, and Aaron Beasley's holding his head because he should still be running the other way with it.
Beasley made a nice play there. Before the poor tackle on Ball allowed a big gain, but this time Beasley shows his ability and could have picked it off and knows it. had 2 interceptions last year. Could have been his first on the 94 season.
All right, here's Darren Erstad, who hasn't had a bad day punting either now. He's had 44 and 49. Pressure, they got a piece of it. They knocked him down. Question is, did they hit the ball? I thought they did. Referee threw the flag, and he's going to say they roughed the kicker. Van Washington came flying through. Van is saying, hey, I got a piece of it. I can knock him down if I hit the ball. Well, let's
going to come right up the middle. I like the call. Don Neal in the 50. Number 1, Washington is unblocked. Comes right up the center. Just didn't get his hands on the ball. You don't go for the kicker or his foot. You go for the foot where the ball is going to come off of it. There's no question he hit the kicker and did not get the ball.
15 yards, automatic first.
He kind of short-legged that. When he saw it was going to be blocked, he kind of pulled it back and just kind of kicked it off the side of his foot. But I like the call by Nealon. You needed something to get things going. You had good field position around the 50. If you block it, you could have got a score before the half is out.
So it goes to the Mountaineers' 39-yard line, where it is first down, Nebraska, at 1:49 to play in the first half. Ball is handed off to Phillips. And Phillips will add another 12 yards to his total. That'll give him about 94, 95 yards in the first half. If they had been able to get a hand on the ball, get a piece of the ball, there'd have been no roughing call.
72 there, Keith, is Wiegert. We've been talking about him. He's 6'5" and 300. He's 2-time all-conference. Had a problem this year with an injury that not many offensive tackles that big have. I'll get back to it right after this play.
Option, Frazier. He's gone. Frazier, 7 carries, 77 yards, 2 touchdowns in the first half.
Is he something or what? Now what? I want you to take a look at the fullback's block. 22 to the left there. That's the backup fullback getting an opportunity to play. And the wide receivers all getting their blocks. In Nebraska, everybody blocks, including the wide receivers.
Sealer, right down the middle. At 1:20 to go in the first half, it is 24-0, Nebraska leading West Virginia. Tommy Frazier, in my opinion, is a very, very, very good college football quarterback. I don't give a fiddle and what the pros think about him. He's a very good college football quarterback.
He is not going to be a pro football quarterback, but he is for Tom Osborne's offense. And for the type of offense that they run, that Lou Holtz at Notre Dame likes to run, it was either between Nebraska and Notre Dame. It got down to that. Both schools wanted him. They run the option, and they throw a little bit. Tommy Frazier can do both, and he is a bright young man.
I'll guarantee you if he was playing for Lou Holtz, he'd be just as good over there.
Yeah, oh, sure. Same system.
We back in Palmetto. Y'all see my mom, dad, Rod, Pike Mill. What's up? Roots, keep doing it.
Just save your breath, Tommy. You're going to have a lot of time to talk this year.
He's 17 and 3 as a starter at Nebraska. He started as a true freshman, the first quarterback ever to start it as a freshman in Nebraska.
This is the best kicking exhibition I've seen in a long time in a college football game. Erstad can get no chance to return that kickoff. You'll enjoy the conversation with Tom Osborne. He talks about some very human things at halftime. 1:20 to go. West Virginia out on the 20-yard line. And Chad Johnson comes back at quarterback for the second go-round for him. The average starting point for the West Virginia offense in this game has been their own 20-yard line. That's not very good. Johnson's pass intercepted by Baron Miles. You got a penalty flag down on the 11-yard line. Personal foul is called against the Cornhuskers. Personal foul.
Take a look at the play. The receiver is going to go down deep, and they're trying to get the ball to this one out of the backfield. But here is the corner that's going to intercept the ball. Watch him as he sees it coming all the way. Sees it coming. Miles just jumps in front of the intended receiver. And that is an awful heads-up play. Had vision into the backfield, saw what's coming, and stepped up and made the play. Miles, the coaches say, is the best athlete on the Nebraska team.
Somebody's going to get chewed out wearing the white shirt, though, because one of them got involved in a little pushing match, and the team got hit with a 15-yard penalty. And that will not make the Nebraska coaching staff happy. Frazier, Phillips, Schlesinger, the backfield. Tommy back, swings it out to Phillips. He gets a block over there on the corner from Brady Kasky, and he turns the corner. And West Virginia takes the ball away from him. Canute Curtis put the big hit on him, and it looked like Ernie Williams came out with the ball, and West Virginia gets a turnover.
Watch from behind now. Somebody's going to rip it out.
That's Canute Curtis, 42, right there.
Okay, he caught
right
him, caught back up with him. Yeah, nice play by Curtis. Phillips, just a sophomore, needs to realize that when he is being caught, when he's chased from behind, he's got to put that ball away.
From the 17 on first down, Cantroy Barber runs it out across the 20 to the 25-yard line. That's a pickup of about 8 yards, and you've got 50 seconds remaining in the first half.
This Barber kid, Keith, really looks good. He is big, and he's strong, and he's fast. He transferred a couple of years ago in from Colorado. He's another kid from Miami that they have up here at West Virginia.
He has it on successive carries, but when you telegraph it like that, he's not going to do much for you because there's a lot of very big people there to get a hold of him, and that group was led by Jared Tomich, a 250-pound defensive end.
But the offense of West Virginia now is just demoralized. Everything they have tried, nothing has worked. They have not run outside well. They have not thrown the ball well. They've turned it over a couple of times. They need to go in at halftime and regroup.
Defense can jump around, offense can't move, and I think the penalty is going to have something to do with the pressure from the defense.
Offsides on the defense.
Yep.
5 yards.
They got too far into the neutral zone and may have made contact. Probably did. On first down now. Ted Johnson cannot get away from Grant Wistrom. He is a freshman from Webb City, Missouri, and the half is over.
So he's going to try and improve upon that here in the second half. Keith?
Erstad will kick it off for Nebraska, and Vanderpool and Nixon are deep for West Virginia. It is Vanderpool drifting over, watching the ball go through the end zone and beyond, and it'll come out to the 20-yard line, which has been West Virginia's averaging starting point for its offense in the first half.
We'll look at the numbers. The first half, all in favor of Nebraska. 44 plays for Nebraska to only 22 for West Virginia. Look down West Virginia. Only 2 first downs, -4 rushing, 8 total yards passing, and 4 total yards. They both have had 2 turnovers. Nebraska has dominated the time of possession, and Nebraska with 285 yards total offense. That about tells you the story.
It is Chad Johnson at quarterback with Freeman and Walker lined up behind him from the 20-yard line. Walker gets the ball, comes into the middle of the line and runs into nothing but grief. He picked up about 2 yards.
Here's a look at what West Virginia did in the first half. The first 3 were 3 plays and out and a punt. Then they fumbled, 2 more punts, an interception. But look, they have never had the ball more than 4 plays. That means their defense has never rested longer than 4 plays at a time. The offensive leaders, not much for the quarterbacks. The running backs, not much. 1 reception by Vanderpool.
Johnson gets his pass away to the sidelines, and it is complete, but is he out of bounds? Nope. It's good for a West Virginia first down to LaShawn Vanderpool in front of Leslie Dennis. The ball moves out across the 30 to near the 32. Pass is down the middle. Vanderpool shielded away from the ball legally by Minter. Had no chance to get to it. And that's the first time that West Virginia has had time to go deep.
Exactly, Keith. And the key word is time. They have tried to go deep. There have been some routes deep, but they have not had time. This kid Minter, a very good player, was played a lot as a true freshman last year, is now the starting free safety. He's just a sophomore.
Dumas, number 4, senior, Cheyenne, Wyoming, just put his fingerprints all over Chad Johnson.
From the right side, number 4, that's Dumas. The Nebraska defense, two of their linebackers were formerly defensive backs, and 2 of their defensive linemen were formerly linebackers. So they've got a lot of smaller people, but very, very quick on the field.
3rd down and 14.
Coach it!
Coleman and Stewart plug the middle. It is Stewart who gets the man. Ed Stewart, number 32, graduate student out of Chicago. The West Virginia offense just can't do anything with this Nebraska defense. Todd Sauerbrunn in now. He's had 5 punts. This will be 6. He has a chance, if he continues to kick this way, to set a new NCAA record this afternoon.
They set a record for attempts.
That one's almost blocked. High hanger. And it goes to Moss. Kareem Moss getting some help. And is finally run down up around the 42. That was a 52-yard punt. So that's going to hurt his overall effort. By far his shortest.
They had the ball 8 times. The one long drive, 13 plays, but other than that, they have struck rather quickly. They scored 3 of the last 5 times they had the ball.
Tommy Frazier's the quarterback, and Lawrence Phillips is behind him. And it's Phillips skating through for 6 yards.
Taking a look individually for Nebraska, Frazier throwing the ball, 6 of 12, 82 yards and a touchdown and an interception. Phillips leads the rushers with 94 yards. Ball has caught 2, 1 for a touchdown.
And Phillips just reached 100 yards on 17 carries. Not bad. We've got 12 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. I don't think he's going to play a whole lot more. Got it again. Zach Wiegert just knocked 2 people down, just turned back into him and shielded, if you will, the running back. And then is frustrated because he didn't get a chance to lay a lick on somebody.
Before the half, they scored a touchdown. We were talking about Wiegert. I was mentioning he had an injury that was uncommon for an offensive lineman. He's 6'5" and 300. He had a pulled hamstring. And when he came to camp, everybody asked him, how did he pull his hamstring? Well, he pulled his hamstring water skiing. Water skiing. Now, can you imagine the size of the boat or the engines to get that big man out of the water? or the fall he must have taken when he pulled it.
Well, Frazier and Schlesinger run together on the handoff, but the offensive line surge is such that Schlesinger still picks up about 5 or 6 yards on the carry. I'll bet you that he started halfway down the hill. He didn't. They didn't pull him out of the water.
They may not have started in the water. They may have started from the beach somewhere. There he is, blocking, staying with his man. He is one of the favorites for the lineman awards at the end of the season.
Well, Nebraska's had 6
awardees. Yes,
over the years.
They certainly have.
6.
He's one of the favorites.
One thing about West Virginia's defensive people, and that the linebackers are now starting to have to make a lot of the hits, and they're not all that terribly big. They're up around 220, 230, but I tell you, when they hit you, you hear it.
There is no question about that. This is a good defensive team. Last year in the Big East, they were second in most every defensive category. They have 5 starters returning on defense from that unit.
There's the first down. Move the chains. The ball goes down to about the 31-yard line. Tonight on ABC, start your night off right with America's Funniest Hour, then High Flying Adventure with Lois and Clark, The New Adventures of Superman, all tonight here on ABC. Next Saturday, you and I, Mr. Greasy, are at the Rose Bowl, which was a place of considerable noise this summer, what with the World Cup and all. This is Phillips again. That's just about a 10-yard pickup. Charles Emmanuel made the tackle for the Mountaineers. Both these coaches, Tom Osborne for Nebraska and Don Nehlen at West Virginia, have the privilege of being the winningest coaches at their respective universities. Now 123 yards for Phillips. Remember the old homily about good running backs. The more they get it, the better they get. Frazier throws the ball into the end zone. It is incomplete. You got a penalty flag thrown down there. The pass was intended for Eric Alford, and Frazier just didn't get the ball there in time because he had his man early on, but West Virginia got in his face and buggered up the play a bit. The interference is against West Virginia, so it's a 15-yard penalty and a first down.
And the man that interfered with the receiver was not the one that almost intercepted it. That was further on downfield.
Pass interference on the defense, 15 yards, automatic first down.
Tom Osborne played his football and graduated with his first degree from Hastings College out in Nebraska.
Quarterback.
Yep, Don Nehlen played football at Bowling Green and became eventually the head coach at Bowling Green.
Both quarterbacks.
Yep. First down and goal for Nebraska. They hammer it up the middle with Schlesinger, the fullback. And he goes from the 8 to about the 2.
Well, Nehlen was at Bowling Green for 9 years, Keith, as you mentioned. But he told me it wasn't until he left Bowling Green and went to Michigan and worked as an assistant with Bo Schembechler that he really found himself and established himself and had the confidence to go on from that job 3 years later and take the West Virginia job. And he has done nothing but be a success here. They had 4 losing seasons when he came.
Phillips tripped up at the top. Number 99, Barry Hawkins, had penetrated. The big guy from Marietta, Pennsylvania. and got him up in the air, and they held him.
Take a look at the defensive charge for West Virginia. Try to penetrate, get in the creases. Pretty good job there.
Put it on the 2, make it 3rd down and goal for the Huskers. Frazier keeps it, throws it, and it's intercepted. Tried to force it, and Charles Emmanuel picked it off.
Frazier is still down on the turf.
Holding his arm and shoulder. He threw only 4 interceptions last year. He's thrown 2 today.
The concern for Frazier is injury, because he got injured last year in the first game, missed several games. He's been hurt some in preseason training. And here you are right here. Well, it's a clean hit. Ball is thrown behind him. We'll check on him when we come back right after this. Just as he's throwing this ball into the end zone, it eventually gets intercepted, but he gets hit very, very hard right after he lets it go. And I think Lynn Swan has a report on Tommy Frazier.
Yeah, Bob, he came off the sideline, told the team doctor that he landed on the arm. It's just a little sore, but he's okay. So they anticipate he can go back into the ball game.
Every West Virginia possession, it seems, today has come from the 20. They had one back on the 17, but the 20-yard line has been their best starting point of any possession all day long. Robert Walker carries there, picks up 2.
You know, Keith, a lot of people may say, well, why is he in the game at this point? Nebraska leading 24-0. I don't think the score matters as much as the number of snaps and the experience. They want to get him some snaps and some playing time for the next couple of games. I don't think you're going to see him in the game in the 4th quarter, but I think they wanted to come out in the 3rd quarter, get him one series, maybe 2 series under his belt, and then sit him down, let somebody else play.
Chad Johnson. Got to do something with it. I'm not sure that Chad could have thrown that ball safely to anybody in the neighborhood and not been flagged for intentional. He just had to eat it.
Well, he had plenty of time that time. There was good pass protection. He just didn't have anybody open, and instead of just throwing it incomplete, he just picked up a couple of yards. Lost a couple of yards.
3.
But it wasn't intercepted.
3rd down conversions today for West Virginia is pretty gloomy. They're 0 for 6. Movement along the line of scrimmage, and I think by the offense.
Dead ball, false start on the offense, 5 yards.
The Kickoff Classic on ABC Sports, brought to you by Chevrolet Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. And Minwax Wood Finishes. With Minwax, it's easy to make wood beautiful. Minwax Wood Finishes. Third down and 18 right here for West Virginia. The ball is all the way back on their 12. Nope, not a safety. Down on the 2.
Little offsides there, too.
A little bit.
They're not that quick.
A little bit. They're just overwhelming now. Dwayne Harris and Dante Jones are both offside.
Yeah, when you start 3 yards on the other side of the line of scrimmage, it's kind of tough to block them.
Offsides on a defense, 5 yards, still 3rd down.
Nealon knows that he's going to have to bring this offense along slowly. We've documented he's lost a lot of players offensively in the skill positions, especially.
Chad Wavell is in there at the tight end right now. Big guy, 6'6", 235. Junior from Reevesville, West Virginia. Johnson throws. Really in between receivers. Nobody had much of a chance to bring it down. And anticipation ripples through the crowd, believe it or not, because here comes Todd Sauerbrunn, who's been a big story. Fourth quarter now, he's going to have the win with him. He's averaging 63.7. The record is 60.4. Well, that's his shortest of the day unless it hits and runs. And it is rolling. He's got a good roll on it. So it's going to work out all right for him. Goes back to the 30, back to the 29. It goes as a 54-yard punt. That brings him down a little bit more toward the record, but he is still above it. The 29-yard hash mark on the Nebraska side of the field, with the Cornhuskers leading West Virginia 24-0. Tommy Frazier is the quarterback, with Phillips and Schlesinger behind him. And here comes Phillips, who has already run up 123. You can add 2 or 3 more to it as Keith Morris makes the tackle for West Virginia. At the conclusion of today's game, we will select a Chevrolet Most Valuable Player from each team, 24th year. Through the Chevrolet Scholarship Program, $1,000 will be donated to the General Scholarship Fund of each school. The ball is at the 33, so it's 127 yards for Phillips. Frazier carries. He's a yard or so short of the first down. The Nebraska passing game has not been impressive today at all, but they, in fact, haven't really needed it. They've been able to control the game without putting it up much.
As I mentioned earlier, they did lead the Big 8 in touchdown passes last year. Touchdown passes per attempt, obviously. They don't throw it very often. They can throw. I classify this attack as a sneaky pass attack, because they get you so much looking for the run. You got to commit 9 guys to the run. You get a lot of one-on-one coverage on your wide receivers on the outside.
But the guy that is now sort of the tutor and a member of the Nebraska coaching staff is Turner Gill, and very much the kind of same player that Tommy Frazier. The Nebraska coaching staff, kind of an interesting group too, Bob. The average tenure for the Husker coaches is 14 years. That's continuity.
I like that. That's very impressive. And speaks to you about the head coach and the coaching program there in Nebraska.
Lawrence Phillip is caught behind the line of scrimmage. That was a good defensive play by number 42, Knute Curtis. And also Barry Hawkins, number 99. Leonard Mayweather has also been in there a bit now. Number 98 getting some playing time, but it was Hawkins, number 99, that reached in and made that play. Probably the only other staff that has that kind of tenure. Of course, Tom Osborne has never coached anywhere but at Nebraska, since he was on Bob Devaney's staff. But Penn State might well
Penn State.
Second down and 13. Phillips can't get loose from James Thomas, and he's brought down. So second down and 12 coming up. Third down and 12. There have been some shuffling around in the coaching ranks in 1994. Going into 94, the notables, as you mentioned, Dan Henning up at BC, Larry Smith out of USC going to Missouri. Ed Polner is the new head coach at San Diego State. Back. Frazier looks all day, has his man, and he didn't come up with it. The pass was thrown behind Abdul Muhammad.
It's a poor throw.
Yep, bad throw. Ken Hatfield leaving Clemson, going to Rice, and Tommy West coming over to Clemson for his head coaching debut at 1A. Brad Scott leaves Florida State and takes over at South Carolina. Rick Minter leaves Notre Dame and goes to Cincinnati. Fred Goldsmith goes into Duke. Jeff Horton up to UNLV, and Chris Ault retakes the coaching job, moving from the AD chair at Nevada Reno. And those are your coaching changes. The punt is away by Erstad. Good roll on it. Vanderpool picks it up on the 10. Nothing but white shirts down there. Nothing but white shirts. He's lucky to get back to the 14. 51-yard punt. Coming up next, NFL greats will take on flag football's best, and the NFL will air it out. Comes out of Universal Studios in Florida next here on ABC Sports. If you're an owner of a professional franchise and you've got a high-priced hot dog star running around out there playing flag football,
Well, these are old retired guys. Yeah, no, these guys are retired.
It is Eric Boykin at quarterback now for West Virginia, number 11, 220-yard sophomore who has had very little luck so far in the ball game. Gets his pass off down the middle, and it is incomplete.
Well, at this point, what Don Nealon and his staff want to do is just try and get some first downs, establish one of their quarterbacks, either Boykin or Johnston, to get something going. We need some first downs. They still have not been out on the field. They have not had more than 5 plays in any one series.
Second down and 10. Robert Walker with a carry, and they have handled Walker today pretty well. Let's check in again with Lynn.
Keith, we were talking about Nebraska's New Jersey connection. Well, number 14, Darren Miles, playing for Nebraska, is from Roselle, New Jersey, and he played Pop Warner football there. On Friday, he went out to see those kids, talked to quite a bunch of them, and about 100 of them bought tickets and are here rooting him on in the ball game. He's certainly playing football well, but giving something back to the organization that got him started in football. Keith?
They say he is just an outstanding kid, works hard in practice, best athlete on the team.
On 3rd and 7, Boykin's got a problem. Down at the 10. You're talking about former NFL players. You and I saw a great one this morning over leaving the hotel.
Yes.
The judge, Alan Page.
Yes.
It's fun to see him. What a nice man. What a terrific life he's had. Judge of Minnesota.
You know, he and I came up at the same time. He was at Notre Dame when I was at Purdue, and he chased me around not only in college but in the pros. This young man right here, I saw a scout, one of the NFL scouts at halftime, and he said this is the top-rated kid in this game right here, this punter.
Oh, he almost fanned that one though. He needs a big bounce. Got some, but that's going to bring him right down around the game average, and that's what he had in mind. He had a chance for a time here at the game record. That is a 52-yarder with the bounce, so he's still going to be above it just a little bit. That's for the game average now, mind you. Here's Swanee.
We've been talking about leaders and statistics in these games. Let's talk about education leaders. For Nebraska, last year they had 5 players who were in grad school playing on the football team. This year they have 3, and they are led by Rob Zadika, who had a perfect 4.0. He is a Rhodes Scholar candidate. And take a look. Here's his transcript for graduation, a perfect 4.0. If there's somebody else in Division I in college football who's done that, give us a call.
We didn't get to see the transcript, but we'll show it to you because it's worth looking at it, what he's been studying, because he's carrying some heavy stuff. Benny carries the ball there, and here's the transcript. Look at this. Look at the courses he's been studying.
Oh, yeah, he's a biology major. He's now taking courses in grad school in immunology and a couple of others I can't pronounce. And I think he's still going to get straight A's, Keith.
Second down and 5. Benning is the eye back now. Frazier dropped the ball. West Virginia recovers it. Ahmed just plain dropped it, coming off the snap. Emerson is the man that recovered it. 4 turnovers by Nebraska now in the ball game.
Well, I can hear Tom Osborne right now at the end of the game. He says the second half we just got sloppy, started turning the ball over, throwing interceptions, dropping the ball, center quarterback exchange. And there's nothing positive happening here in the second half for Nebraska to build on for the next game.
They give you the feeling that they've lost interest, don't they?
Well, they do.
Yep.
But let me say this: West Virginia has not quit. They are a tough defensive team.
Boykin lets it go. Vanderpool is down there, and he looked the wrong way, and if he had the jet left, he couldn't do anything with it. In the meantime, Boykin got spread out pretty good on the field by Baron Mount.
He threw the ball too quickly. He needed to wait a second to see the angle that Vanderpool was coming out of his break. However, he didn't have time to wait because he had the Nebraska defense in his face.
Well, the thing that's alarming when you got somebody like a Vanderpool who is a bit of a speedster, I mean, no question about it, he can run. But Baron Miles is just running right with him and looking him right in the eye every step. Second down and 10. Ball on the 44. It's a limited passing game, isn't it?
It is. It's very similar. These two teams are very similar offensively and defensively. Offensively, they like the option. West Virginia hasn't been able to get the option going today. They like the sprint draws. They like the rollout. They like the play action. Very few times does a quarterback just drop straight back into the pocket.
All right, hey, you got something left?
West Virginia quarterbacks have been taken behind the line of scrimmage 7 times today. Last play of the third quarter, that's 8 sacks. And we'll return with more action. There might be a face guard here. Let's wait. I think we've got a face guard coming up. It'll be a penalty on Nebraska. That is the last play of the third quarter. That's what it is. So we'll be back with more action between Nebraska and West Virginia after this message, with the Huskers leading by a score of 24-0 after this message and a word from our ABC station. Kickoff Classic, the Meadowlands Giant Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. The penalty play as teams now switch sides of the field. We're looking at 4th down and 7 for West Virginia. And with timeout, we'll be back after this word from our ABC station.
Sunday.
The final quarter now, 4-24-0 ball game. West Virginia is going to have to punt, and the story about this is he can kick it, 52 yards, 53 yards. So that'll take him down below the record right here. He can only kick it 53 yards because that's the total amount of field he's got to work with, and that's exactly what he does. But he is now dipped under the record for this game. Todd Sauerbrunn, but he may very well get another chance to bring it back. So in this ball game, he has been the big story for West Virginia, as the third quarter stats clearly reflect the problems of the Mountaineer offense.
Nebraska with big numbers except for turnovers. Osborne won't like that. And for West Virginia, just really weak numbers, especially rushing yardage. -6. Last year they averaged 234 yards a game. Today, -16 rushing yards.
Tommy Frazier is still in there at quarterback. You've got Makovica at fullback and Damon Benning at the I-back position. Makovica playing 8-man football in high school over in Brainerd, Nebraska. Rushed for over 4,000 yards. But you don't, these days, at a school that has the legendary history of a Nebraska, find somebody normally who's been playing 8-man football.
A couple other players on this team played 8-man.
Yeah.
Keneally,
you find it quite a bit in Nebraska.
Defensive, yeah.
Up in the Dakotas, Wyoming. Second down, Frazier whips his pass complete to Reggie Ball. And Ball with his first catch of the day, I guess. Third catch of the day.
So look at the defensive group. That's probably Charlie McBride in there talking to his troops. That's not Charlie, but if you're wondering why Tommy Frazier is still in the game, I'm sure Osborne is not happy with what's happened. He's thrown an interception. He's dropped a snap from center. This has happened in the last the second half. And he's missed some passes. I'm thinking he's just going to let him in there and get his timing a little bit.
This is Damon Benning, the sophomore out of Omaha. And West Virginia tattoos him after he picks up about 7 yards on the carry. Benning at 205 pounds. Phillips at 200 pounds. Clinton Childs at 215 pounds. Those are 3 big, tough running backs. And there's 2 more behind them. All they need is a little seasoning. This is Schlesinger, the fullback. West Virginia trying to claim the ball. And they got it. Down on the bottom of the pile, Toffoni, number 3, took the ball away, and that's 5 turnovers by Nebraska.
Well, that part of the Neyland scheme is working, and defense has played well. They've taken the ball away 5 times. It's the offense that's not doing anything with it when they get it. Yeah, I think it was Toffoni taking it away from Schlesinger. Nice play, nice pitch there.
This is Walker with his biggest run of the day for West Virginia. Eric Boykin coming down on an option play. Tony Velen knocks him out of bounds. Veland knocks him out of bounds at the 31-yard line of Nebraska. So here's West Virginia now after the turnover, suddenly in a position maybe to score. That'll get Charlie McBride, the Nebraska defensive coordinator, cranky.
This is their 5th possession of the second half. They've punted the first 4.
Go back to Walker, and he'll pick up a couple. You see in the defensive front now, you've got Wistrom out there, and Sahlstrom, and Pesterfield, and Tomic, and Ellis, and Terwilliger, and Brown, and you have a lot of second unit people. But now all of a sudden drifting back into the picture come people like number 32 Stewart, number 4 Dumas. So the big fellas are starting to drift back onto the field. Boykin gives it again to Walker, and he busts it down to the 21-yard line, and a sure tackle by Tony Veland. Otherwise, he could have scored.
Well, that was a touchdown-saving tackle by a guy that was playing quarterback last year. Here's Veland right here. Watch as he's going to come up and be the only man left between Walker and the end zone. Nice blocking up front when you get ahead and past that. And that's the best way to attack Nebraska, is right at them. They're just so quick.
Ball handed this time to Freeman, the fullback, and he'll pick up about 3 yards. Nebraska in this second half, this has been their offense. They've been intercepted, they've punted, they've fumbled, and they fumbled. And that's why starting quarterback Frazier's been out there in the second half.
Yep.
Now the West Virginia folks kind of excited, thinking about putting a touchdown on the board at 11.5 minutes to play in the ball game. Boykin gets his pass off. Pass is thrown to the tight end, Chad Wavell. He's belted by Veland. The pass is incomplete.
Veland's a nice kid. He's a junior who was a quarterback who wasn't getting much playing time. They switched him over to defensive back, put him at free safety. He is an excellent athlete, and he has been all over this field the last 4 or 5 plays.
Boykin is 0 for 4. Pressure coming up the middle, dumps the ball off to Jimmy Gary into the ball game. Jimmy Gary, who started last year as your starter at tailback, 220-pounder out of Okeechobee, Florida, taken down by Clint Brown. So there's a loss there, and they're looking at 4th down and 13.
Neyland being an ex-quarterback and seeing what his offense is doing, how badly or poorly they're playing, they're just not executing. It's got to be tough on him. He knows there's a lot of work to be done.
To the corner of the end zone. Missed connections. Vanderpool went one way and Boykin threw it another. We're going to get a little coaching right here. I mean, some serious coaching.
The receiver broke off his route. There's a Vanderpool. Vanderpool's telling there was somebody out there, and that's why I didn't run out there. Here he is right here. If you run it down here, he's going to break to the outside. Let's take a look at it. Now, if we're going to stop it right here, if you stop it right here, he breaks his route and goes straight up the field, and Boykin is going to throw the ball to the outside of the field. That's what Nealon was yelling about.
So the Huskers hold them and take over. Careful. You got to be a pretty good athlete. That thing's heavy. Here comes Nebraska from the 23-yard line. Frazier is still in there at quarterback, and Damon Benning at I-back carries the ball on that play, picks up a couple of yards.
Here's what Keith mentioned a little earlier. These are the possessions of Nebraska in the second half. Interception and then fumbles on both the last possessions. And that probably is why Tommy Frazier is still in the ball game, which I don't disagree with. You don't put these players up on shelves and just pull them down and put them in ball games. They've got to play through things and get momentum going. Even though Frazier had some success in the first half, the team has not played well in the second.
Benning wiggles away from trouble behind the line of scrimmage and winds up picking up about a yard. As the Goodyear blimp Stars and Stripes out of Pompano Beach, Florida, drifts easily over Giant Stadium. Hi, y'all. They were down in Williamsport, huh? Always used to like to go to Williamsport because you could get fresh corn right off the field next door to the stadium. That's encroachment there by a defensive player, Barry Hawkins, who leaned and with just couldn't pull his 295 tired pounds back across the neutral zone.
Offsides, defense, 5 yards, still third down.
I mean, when you're down there watching the Little League World Series, you just go out in the field and pour yourself some corn. Then what would you do?
Our guys had got a great big old barrel, and the gentleman who owned the land, the farmer, who would let us go out and pick some corn, and we'd heat up the barrel and fill it full of fresh corn and just sound like a bunch of hogs. Wonderful. Frazier. Across the 40 to the 41. Have an awful lot of trouble with rain, though, during this time of the year down there.
Well, that's why the corn's so high.
Yeah. You're probably right. Williamsport is where grit is printed. Put it on the 41-yard line. 8 minutes and 40 seconds to go in the ball game. Tommy Frazier still driving the machine from Nebraska. Quick pass thrown sharply and caught. Well, if I'm not going to say that's thrown sharply, it wasn't. It was thrown behind him. But Brendan Holbein was able to reach back and get it.
Nebraska has looked very poor in the second half, very average. In the first half, they've looked very good. Getting tuned up for their games the next couple of weeks.
Clinton Childs with the ball. Childs is the big back, the 215-pounder from Omaha, and he just picked up a first down. The team, of course, that is figuring to challenge Nebraska for the Big 8 champion this year would be the Colorado Buffaloes. But Colorado really got a rough schedule early on this year. They're tangling up with folks like Michigan. They got some tough games in front of them.
Got a game at home with Wisconsin.
And Wisconsin, yep. That's Brian Schuster, number 28, a sophomore, now at fullback for the Cornhuskers. And the Dr. Tom starting to empty his bench. Play a lot of folks when you have a chance. Clock showing 7 minutes and 50 seconds to play in the ball game. Oklahoma's got to be looking at a new quarterback. Kansas State had a big year last year, and they're still tough. Tom says the Big Eight's a tougher conference this year. Frazier, option. Look out. He's gone. Touchdown. 42 yards.
Turner Gill, he's saying that's just like the way I used to do it. And they've been doing it that way a long time under Tom Osborne at Nebraska. But I don't know if they've done it any better than this young man and Turner Gill used to do it.
12 carries, 130 yards, and 3 touchdowns for Tommy Frazier. Tom Sealer from Las Vegas, Nevada. The extra point. Whoa. Just squeezed it in. (31-0) ball game.
Frazier is the third running back in that 3-back set. And the thing that makes him so dangerous is that he's lined up as a quarterback, and you're really not looking at him to run the ball. And he's using the option. A lot of times he gets the crack, gets through it. Watch the block. Watch the blocking that he's getting. That's Stye, number 66, the right guard. 61 is Caskey downfield blocking, and he doesn't need much more to get into the end zone.
Question about it. A bit sloppy in the second half, but still it's 31-0, and they have not been seriously threatened. As Rashawn Vanderpool and Jeff Nixon will go back now as the West Virginia band plays. And Aaron Erstad, a sophomore out of Jamestown, North Dakota, will kick off. He got in the car after a baseball game and drove, I guess, just drove almost nonstop from Cape Cod to Lincoln to make the first day of turnout. And again, the ball is kicked deep into the end zone. Don't do it. Bring it to the 20 because you're not going to get there running. So it'll be first down West Virginia at the 20. And they've been there most of the day. Last time the Mountaineers were shut out was 1986. And old foe Penn State did it to them 19-0. Boykin is the quarterback.
West Virginia averaged 41 points last year.
Andre Barber is in the backfield. Boykin rolls out, dumps it off, caught by Levette Purnell, the tight end, and he picks up a first down out to the 37-yard line. That may be their biggest play of the day.
Well, West Virginia offensively is just looking for some building blocks to take out of this game with them to go on for the rest of the season. They need to do something offensively. They only have 24 yards total offense before that last completion. And Nealon says we need to get something going, even if it is the last 7 minutes of this game and we're going to get beat. Offensively, let's get something going.
Their next opposition will be Ball State out of the MAC. That is a takedown behind the line of scrimmage for the Nebraska Cornhuskers. And it's going to be, I think, the 9th time West Virginia quarterback has been taken down behind the line of scrimmage. This by Jason Peter. Now, Jason is the younger brother of Christian Peter, and the Peter boys are out of New Jersey, both of them.
They have a brother also that's at Notre Dame.
Yeah, and Damien, I think it is, who's over at Notre Dame, is playing this year for the first time. Boykin's pass is incomplete. It was intended for Zach Abraham.
That's a poor throw there, Keith.
Yep.
That's just a simple out. He had good vision. You need to hit those types.
Well, he's cranking up. He's winding up. Instead of just whistling it out, flipping it out there, wristing it out, whatever you want to call it, throwing the ball with some touch on it, he threw it hard.
Well, last year it was Jake Kelchner and Darren Studstill.
Yep.
Two names that will go a long way in the history and the annals of West Virginia football.
Before that, Hostetler.
That's right.
Major Harris down there.
Yep.
Time called with 6:21 to play. They're looking at 3rd and 13. Mountaineers have had their conference as you look down on Giant Stadium. We're 6 minutes and 21 seconds to play in what has been a one-sided ball game. 3rd down conversions today. They're 0 for 10. And if they got a trick play, this might be a place to try. It's a pass down the middle for Vanderpool. Nothing trickery about it. It's just a post pattern, but it worked. First down at the 35.
This is a good throw and a good catch right here. Vanderpool is going to go down and break to the post. He's going to catch this ball, but the safety's coming, and he knows it. That's a nice catch. He made a tough catch there. He dropped some easier balls a little earlier. Look out.
Well, Mr. Kareem Moss meet Mr. Eric Boykin.
Moss is the strong safety, and that obviously a strong safety blitz. The quarterback, Boykin, has not had a lot of snaps in the last couple of years. You've got to be alert for a safety blitzing. You cannot block those guys with your normal offensive line and back blocking. You need to see that yourself. You'll see that in the tape of the film the next couple of days, and the next time it happens, he may be alert for it.
You need to start sensing it, though, before you feel the collision. Or you're going to have a little trouble getting up in the morning. This is Jimmy Gary, and he runs into the stack and doesn't get much out of it, a couple of yards. And so it's 3rd down and 8. The Thrifty Car Rental post-game report will be of considerable duration following the ball game, I suspect. We'll get all kinds of war stories from Bob Greasy and Lynn Swan. 3rd down and 4th down and 4 now. As on 3rd down, they're well short of it.
Nealon had an undefeated regular season last year, and then 6 years previous to that, in 1988, also had an undefeated season. He has done wonders at West Virginia. He needs to come up with some kind of offense this year, but this is a tough defense he's going against.
4th and 4. Boykin's pass underneath the coverage is good for a first down and then some as Levette Purnell makes the catch. And the big sophomore from Seaford, Delaware. Just a couple of doors down from us is an old friend, Jack Fleming, who is in his 43rd season of broadcasting West Virginia Mountaineer football. 43 seasons. He's been involved for a good long time with the Pittsburgh Steelers as well, and I knew him first back when I was doing NBA basketball. Jack was doing the Chicago Bulls for a few years. There he is.
It's been a long day for him today.
Yep. Oh, he's got a million
imagine he's
stories.
had some long days.
Oh, he's got a million stories. It's Jimmy Gary inside the 10 down to about the 8. He's a good guy, and he's done a fine job for the folks in West Virginia for a long time. So the Mountaineers trying to get something on the board. They want to score. They don't want to go home with that goose egg hanging around their neck. In the first place, they know full well the coach is going to be cranky anyhow. But if they scored, it might tend to relieve it just a bit. This is Jeff Nixon. And Jeff may have lost some. The last time Nebraska shut out anybody was October 1992 And they beat Oklahoma State 55-0. Ball rest on the 8. They can get a first down without scoring, but just barely. Boykin. That'll get you a flag because Tony Minifield was in the grasp of Darren Schmedeke, reserve cornerback. Old Darren had wrapped him up, put him in his pocket, and pretty much zipped him up before the ball got there.
The play action semi-rollout. The receiver is going to have position on the defensive back, and that is a little bit early. But because of the Minifield had position, the receiver had position, there was nothing the corner could do but go right through him.
So put the football at the 2, and it is first and goal. Robert Walker is back in with Freeman. Walker dropped the ball. Bad pitch. Very bad play by Boykin. Boykin turned around. There was penetration. People had a hold of him and rattled him around, and he could not deliver the pitch, and he threw it over Walker's head.
Watch number 16, Stokes. He's the one that causes Boykin to pitch it quicker than he normally does in practice, and that caused the fumble. This is just poor ball handling. You got to expect something quick to come off that corner, especially against a team like Nebraska. This is Nebraska's number 2 defense in there. They're not going against the number 1s.
He had plenty of time to deliver that pitch.
Well, you got to expect it. You got to see it coming before you get down that far.
Into the middle, nothing. So now they go from the 11 back to about the 8. And it is third down and goal. They had first and goal on the 2. Now they're looking at third and goal on the 8. Actually, it's closer to the 9, but it's in between them. And you always mark it on the forwardmost hash mark. That pass was thrown in the corner. Zach Abraham was the man trying to run under it, but Cedric Collins was having none of it. Dave Burnson tells me that if they let Sauerbrunn punt here, that he will have a new game record for punting.
He's really worried about that game record, isn't he?
In a game in which he had 10 punts.
Yeah, I don't think the chances are very good.
I don't either. 2:20 to go in a ball game. Timeout. Most, I'd say about half the folks are still here. Been a nice balmy day to sit. Sun has been kind of dimmed by a haze. It is fourth down and goal, and Boykin trying to outrun the pressure. Throws into the end zone. It is intercepted. Intercepted by Cedric Collins, who's another one of those graduate students playing for Nebraska. And so with 2:12 to go in the football game, it appears that West Virginia is going to be shut out.
Well, it's a good call getting the quarterback outside the pocket where he might have a little bit more time to throw, but throwing on the run to a receiver going the other way, there was no receiver even near Collins when he intercepted that ball.
Brooke Behringer is the quarterback, Clinton Childs the tailback, and Chris Norris the fullback for Nebraska now, as Tom Osborne goes down the bench, looking for a little more seasoning for some folks, and Childs is running hard for a first down, for almost a first down, out around the 18-yard line. This football game is a product, actually, of the National Football Foundation and College Hall of Fame and the National Association of Collegiate Directors of Athletics And the College Football Hall of Fame is moving very shortly to South Bend, Indiana. A new 60,000 square foot, $15 million building over there. Quite a show place. This is Chris Norris getting the carry, and he's out across the 20 to about close to the 25-yard line on the first down play. But it's going to be a place much like the one in Mason, Ohio, that was designed for families and where people can come and get involved with the history of college football. The city of South Bend, Indiana, very much involved in this particular project. So if you're going that direction anytime soon, stop in and have a visit.
And it's supposed to be state-of-the-art, with all the latest in functions and features.
Brooke Behringer turning it upfield, and he runs for a first down. A big guy, 6'4", 210. Next Saturday here on ABC Sports, we've got a doubleheader going for you and a lot of regional action. You got Boston College, Michigan. You got Virginia, Florida State, Washington, USC, and then at 8 Eastern and 5 Pacific, the first wave of games at 3:30 Eastern. You'll have Notre Dame, Northwestern, or UCLA, Tennessee. All of that here on ABC Sports next Saturday. You got Matt Turman in there at quarterback now for Nebraska. His dad's a coach at high school out in the state of Nebraska. Matt suffered what they thought had been quite a severe injury a couple of weeks ago, but lo and behold, turned out to be not so bad, and being a resilient youngster, he bounded right back from it.
And he's just a walk-on, too. Tom Osborne has a good walk-on program, and that quarterback, Turman, is a walk-on quarterback and the number 3 quarterback on this team.
20-19 and counting now toward the end of the ball game. Nebraska came into this game ranked number 4 in the coalition poll. West Virginia ranked number 23. And what we have seen today in the first game of the season, I would say those rankings held up pretty well. And so it is done. The game is over. The 12th Kickoff Classic won by the Cornhuskers of Nebraska over the West Virginia Mountaineers, 31-0. The Chevrolet most valuable players of the game are Tommy Frazier of Nebraska. Tommy had 100 yards passing, 130 yards running. He threw for a touchdown. He ran for 3. And Todd Sauerbrunn of West Virginia, their MVP, with Chevrolet donating $1,000 to each school's General Scholarship Fund to reward outstanding students for academic achievements and to help those who need some financial help.